Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this show without the express written consent of the Financial Guys, LLC is strictly prohibited.
Securities offered through Peak Brokerage Services, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Independent Solutions Wealth Management or Blackridge Asset Management. Financial Guys, Independent Solutions, and Blackridge Asset Management are not an affiliate of Peak Brokerage Services, Inc.
Welcome to TFG Truth. I'm Mike Hayflick along with my partner, Mike Sparazza, where each and every week we report facts, expose hypocrisy, and espouse common sense. Today it's Rapid Fire Day, folks. We are going to cover lots and lots of topics. We're starting with vaccine mandates, Mike's favorite topic.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how it sort of faded. Yay.
I only say that. I don't mind talking about it because we talk about it all the time.
Oh, we're going to talk about it.
But it's just exhausting. It's mentally draining.
The word of the last 2 years, right? COVID, vaccine. We're just going to love these times. Remember the good old days of impeachment talk? I mean, get that Trump, that orange guy out of there.
Yeah.
Remember all that?
I miss those days. I really do. I miss those days.
Honestly, like coming into, it was like January 2020, and all we were hearing is, we've got to impeach this guy. He's going to, put us to ruins. And
Russia.
Russia, right? I mean, the good old days. And all we then heard was COVID.
Hey, here's a question I'd love to ask some far leftists on this one. What would you rather have right now? A couple off-color tweets by Donald Trump, or the conversation of vaccine and mandates and all this other stuff?
Right.
I'll take a couple "you're an idiot" tweets from Donald Trump right now. Right. I would take 1,000 of them.
Yeah, and then they could just call him names, but we'd have this roaring economy, all sorts of people working. A thriving education system across the country, right? Kids actually learning, not holed up in their homes, parents losing their jobs, having to make terrible decisions.
Yep.
I know. But those
were the days.
Got to get that guy out, man. He offended me.
I'll tell you, I said this recently too, now that we're on the vaccine, COVID, whatever here. But I said this recently. I honest to God thought when the left won the election, I really, in my heart of hearts, thought COVID would go away at some point.
Yeah.
We're now pushing it more than it's ever been pushed before. Right? I thought for sure they'd win the election. They'd be like, all right, let's move on from this. We got it. COVID did what we needed it to do. We got Trump out. We're good to go. And now it's like they're like hungry for more.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't good enough. Now we're just going to take over the whole country.
I think that's called desperation.
Yeah.
They are desperate for attention. They're desperate for something to cling to. It's kind of like their life preserver. They're drowning right now, and the life preserver vest is off, or it's hanging on for dear life. That's the COVID narrative. And I mean, look what's happening now. So besides for federal workers, our wonderful president, Sleepy Joe, who honestly, I really just wish Joe and Jill would just say, we're off until January 1st. We're going to be in our pajamas and we're going to watch Lifetime movies. Folks, if you haven't seen some of these Lifetime movies, I mean, they bring tears to my eyes every single time. And I think Sleepy Joe and Jill, they ought to do this. It'll help their marriage. It'll keep him out of the White House, out from the press conferences, because he hates them anyway. Have you watched these Lifetime movies? I'm challenging you to watch one of these. Now, it's a cookie cutter script. I grant you that. It's always the successful high school student went off to a big city and became successful, comes back to the hometown, meets up with, the significant other, sometimes male or female. It's been both. So, because it's 2020.
Yeah, one.
And it's always just like this beautiful thing. It always comes together at the end. Joe, you would love this. And it would keep you out of the spotlight where you don't like to be anyway, right?
You can have a cup of ice cream.
You could have ice cream. You could even these are probably 2-hour movies. 2 bowls of ice cream, Joe, if you would just stay in your own bunker with your pajamas on and watch the darn Lifetime movies.
Here's the problem, though. Good thought, but then we get Kamala in charge, which may be in fact worse than him, right?
Ooh.
And this is a major, I know we're jumping all around, but this is rapid fire. We do this every time we do it.
Yeah.
But this is a major problem because in 2024, where do they go? right? Kamala is unfavorable, it seems, for not only voters but for people in the White House.
Right.
Joe, I don't know if Joe makes it out of 2024 in terms of, I don't mean passing away, I mean as the president, right?
Right.
Cognitively, I don't know that he makes it out. So that's two of your candidates for 2024. You might want to start thinking about 2024 right now, right? You might want to start saying, we should probably get our candidate and start or start weeding them out. But it's really important because this is crucial for both sides, right? We've said it about the right, and now this is the left. The left is falling apart at the seams, right?
There's no doubt.
And the right needs to stay strong in 2022 or they're going to fall apart.
So two things. It makes me think of Andrew Cuomo, and then, watch what you wish for, because now we have Kathy Hochul, who wants to come in and
who has a double-digit lead right now, they say, in the primaries, by the way.
Well, she'll be the next governor, and she wants to make a stand, and she wants to show who's the boss and all that, and so yeah, careful what you wish for. And then the other thing is, I think it'll be our mayor of New York City, Mr. de Blasio, right? Because he's saying, no, everybody's got to be vaccinated now. It's not just government officials, it's everyone. And that's going to get shot down too. But yeah, these are the loonies, folks. These are the wackadoodles. They're all going to be fighting each other for who can be the most oppressive leader. And if you folks are out there and you think that those are the people you want in charge, I think you're Looney Tunes as well. I mean, there's just no doubt.
And for those of you who also think like, it's not really that important. I don't really have to worry about it, right? Like, it's never going to happen here. No, it's going to. Okay?
It's going to.
So don't sit back and think like, it's not that important. I don't care. I've heard it from a few people lately. They were on board with getting the vaccine. That was fine. Now they're telling them they need boosters, and they're like, wait a minute.
Right.
You told me the one. Yeah. We all said that 8 months ago, 10 months ago, right? It's not going to stop there.
No.
Because it's not going to stop anywhere.
No.
They've been doing this now. Again, we'll go through the timeline. 15 days to slow the spread, social distancing, mask up, shut your business down, get the vaccine. No, don't get the vaccine. It's Trump's vaccine. No, get the vaccine. It's Biden's vaccine. We need a booster. I mean, right? Like, it never ends. This is 18 months. And even people like your own president are saying, we got to learn to live with this. No shit.
I know.
We knew that.
And what exactly is fully vaccinated, by the way?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
We could change that too. It might be boosters every week. Like, literally show up, and as soon as you walk through your employer's door. Yeah. Or maybe every time you're brushing your teeth, you're going to have to give yourself a booster. I don't know.
And really, you want to know why so many people are getting tested and why a lot of these people getting tested and getting diagnosed with COVID aren't even really sick.
I know.
They're getting tested. They got the sniffles, and we've scared the bejesus out of everybody. So you run to the testing site, right? I mean,
yeah, I think you're right. There's no more bejesus in anybody. They're all bejesus out.
I know.
So here's a good thing. A federal judge in Georgia issues basically a nationwide injunction. So this goes for every state in the union, folks, against the mandate for federal contractors. This is a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
So except for federal employees, Joe and his gang of COVID, fearmongers, his posse of scare the bejesus out of people, they're getting slowed down. And we've seen this now over the last months, right, at school board meetings. And I mean, you are now seeing, and by the way, later we're going to play Carol Markowitz. You said she's pretty popular out on all these various media platforms.
Twitter, yeah.
Twitter, popular. Carol Markowitz, a New York Post columnist, is leaving New York for Florida. Surprise, surprise. But when you get someone like that, someone pretty prominent, especially on kind of the liberal side of things, leaving New York for Florida, and she's pronouncing this, and it's a big deal. I have some great clips of an interview I listened to. But I think this is getting shut down, but I think what you say, but when's it going to end? Like the fight is over. Let's go. Let's move on. It just never ends, right?
And again, I just don't think these people can handle normalcy. Like, there's always got to be what does Lomas always say? Never let a crisis go to waste, right?
That's right.
Like, it's always just, we got to do this, we got to do that, that's not enough. We need more, and we'll talk about our the famous Mr. Smollett next.
Let's move to him.
But that's another example, right? Like, we have to just blow things out of proportion at all times, right? Lie, make things up, take stats out of context. Obviously, his wasn't a stat; his was a actual event, but. but take stats out of context.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's just I don't know when it ends, and that's what's scary to me. I keep telling people, don't just let's sit there and wait for it, because they'll keep coming at you. And oh, it's not going to happen to me. Oh, it's not going to happen to Buffalo. Oh, it's not going to happen to New York State. No, it will.
Right.
Trust me.
I totally see myself as a super simple kind of like wash, rinse, and repeat kind of guy. I literally am so boring. I have such a routine, and if a routine is thrown off because I'm going to go have a beer, smoke a cigar, watch a football game or something, it's like, all right, that's cool. But just typical day, night, get back up and then the next day, it's super simple. I like it simple because it's easy. It's sort of like I can be good at simple, right? Yeah. I don't think I've met anyone else like you that's more like me. Like, I think you just grind away. It's constant work, help people, have a little fun, help people, work, right? Why can't these people do this? Jussie Smollett, by the way, Jussie, I don't understand. Like, I always have to think it's J-U, not Jussie. It's Jussie, right? Jussie Smollett. Why can't he just be a good actor? Why can't he just do what everyone else does?
Part of the problem with being a good actor is you got to be in films that people know. So I didn't know who he was until this happened. So that's part of the problem.
And what the hell is a bathhouse? Right? Whoever these two alleged attackers are that actually were his friends and physical trainers, one he's in some bathhouse making out with the guy. I'm like, oh man, I thought it was just him. They got trained. He trained with these people to be a good actor and in good shape. Yeah. No, one of them apparently, what the hell is a bathhouse? I hope you don't know.
I think
I've heard
that they are those things when you go camping.
Okay.
You just go, there's a bathroom.
Okay. You got to walk down the dirt road to the building, and it's cold water, of course. But
I don't know of any bathhouses in Buffalo, New York, but that would be my example of what a bathhouse is.
So he tried to totally just distract everybody with these stories of this is the one brother I like and the other brother I don't, but I made out with the one in a bathhouse. So then it got turned around, and of course, facts and evidence start coming out.
Sorry, before you go to facts, because let's just talk about that for a second. So you hook up with a guy in a bathhouse, and his retaliation to you would be wearing Trump hats,
right,
and yelling profanities and bad words at you. That doesn't sound like a retaliation effort to me.
MAGA country, Chicago. Right. Not gangs, not gun violence. Every night, drugs.
No,
it's MAGA country. What are you doing in my neighborhood? It's like the whole thing is just.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's such a farce. But he claims again, I was attacked by these two guys that I basically know that were helping me train, one of which I made out in a bathhouse with. The other one I don't like, right? Brother I don't like. But they were all together. And so gets attacked. This is after now they're showing, they actually circled this area where the alleged incident happened prior to the attack. So they're scoping it out. I mean, he's an actor. How does he not do this well? How does he not figure out how to do this?
I go back to my first point. What movies do you know that he's in? So
I don't know. Yeah. This is going to be his claim to infamy, I guess,
This is his best acting job he's done.
And he's just really bad. So to your point, maybe that's why he's not the new Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones.
Yeah. He certainly is not.
He's not going to be the next James Bond.
Oh, he was in The Mighty Ducks. All right, I'll give him that.
Oh, great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
He was a child actor, though, so we won't count that. He was also in the show Empire, Alien.
Was that like a Star Wars theme? The Empire, it's like the Empire Strikes Back kind of thing?
Let's see. Empire is a musical drama.
Well, all right.
That would be why.
Creating his own drama.
That's why I have not seen it. All right, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it was really funny. And these CNN hosts, they just always find their way into these stories, right? He's a friend of Don Lemon's, right?
No kidding.
Or Don Lemon, as Tucker likes to say. He's a friend. So Don Lemon was actually at some point texting with Jussie Smollett to give him some maybe advice or, hey, do this or don't do that. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he was actually friends from the bathhouse. I don't know.
And by the way, if you go back and you look at the MSNBCs of the world, our favorite Joy Reid was all over this one. one too. But from the minute it happened, it's race, it's this,
Right.
it's that. This is Trump people. This is MAGA.
Yep.
This is what MAGA country is. That term too, MAGA country.
Right.
I have not heard one Trump supporter walk down the street and yell, "This is MAGA country" to people.
Right.
Right. Like I don't know who does that, and maybe I'm sheltered here in New York State, but my dad is one that wears a "Make America Great" hat all the time. He doesn't go shout people at tops, "This is MAGA country," and
With
then,
his fist up in the air.
and then put a noose around their neck. Right. Like this stuff doesn't happen. Right. Yes.
just
Maybe
doesn't. No.
maybe there's a few incidents of racism, but that happens on both sides. Whether you're African American or you're white, there's racists on both sides, right?
I know.
This stuff just doesn't happen.
They just make stuff up. And it's just so funny to me.
And the worst part is this makes race worse.
I know. Oh yeah, and I think that's their whole point. It always comes back to, is this just ignorance? Are these people just imbeciles, or is it intentional? And I think it's intentional most of the time, but then they get themselves caught up in this. Like, that this Jussie Smollett was thinking about this. Like, how can I get some attention, right? How can I really throw fire on this whole racism thing? And this was his idea to do it. Completely flawed idea. He's caught, and now, I mean, even with the facts, the evidence, he's trying to get out of this thing. I mean, it's just like absolutely insane. How about Chris Cuomo?
Oh,
I just I love to turn to CNN at prime time and see not just the normal size head of somebody, but it was always like this huge head. Like, he must have told the producers, "I want my head to be bigger than my guest's head," because his head would be like covering the entire half of the screen. Like, it'd be like you're like this close to him.
I thought you were going to be talking about Brian Stelter for a second. But go ahead.
No, they moved the camera way back from Brian, and it was still big.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Chris Cuomo said, "Hey, how come Brian's head is so big? I want my head to be big too." Well, we're going to have to move the camera closer than Chris. Fine, do it, right? Zoom in on me.
Because Brian Stelter,
Oh my gosh. He's
got the face for radio.
He's a piece of work.
He is a piece of work.
He's a piece of work. Maybe he should have a mask on, folks. Let's keep masks on Brian Stelter. But Chris Cuomo, come on. I mean, do you feel somewhat bad for this guy?
Well, I think what was his name on it? Greg Gutfeld said it best on the 5. I think he was talking about it. I think it was Joy Reid, and I love to bring her up because she gives us so much joy.
Especially during this season.
But he essentially said or maybe it was Jeffrey Toobin he was talking about, one of the two. But he goes, "I am so in Chris Cuomo's corner. If they don't get rid of Joy Reid or Jeffrey Toobin, whoever he was talking about, and they get rid of him and not them, I am so far in Chris Cuomo's court." And it's true, right?
Right.
You have so many people that are just out of their minds on television.
I know.
And then you're going to get rid of him, right? Like
Jeffrey Toobin. Thanks for bringing him up.
he's on the special talking about this.
We actually remember the one day I came into work and I said, I've turned his name into basically a verb.
Right.
And I said, don't get caught tubing on your next Zoom meeting. And folks, if you don't know, we won't even go into it. Look up Toobin, Toobin, scandal. You're sure to get some good laughs out of it.
Still works at CNN, by the way.
Still there. Yeah.
And also covering, primetime episodes, too, with...
when you're a good contributor, come on.
Right.
You shouldn't have your job taken away from you.
That's right.
Doesn't matter what you've been doing under the table during Zoom meetings.
With colleagues.
With colleagues on the Zoom meeting.
Yeah. Not Zoom meeting with a girlfriend. Zoom meeting with your colleagues at work.
Yeah, this was not. This was during his professional time with his. Yeah. Oh my.
Now let's go to Chris Cuomo real quick because this is interesting. So CNN puts him on leave.
Right.
Then what is it? 4 days later, they fire him.
They fired him.
Brian Stelter, another friend of our show, made it very clear that there were many things that came up that made them make this decision, which makes me believe, how are there so many things in 4 days? Or was this stuff that's been going on for, I don't know, 2 years?
Right.
That you've known and you've had to deal with him, and he's made these choices to, violate company policies or help his brother in an investigation, or there's been a sexual assault rumor that came out now, so let's see if that goes anywhere for him, that he sexually assaulted a colleague or something along those lines.
Yeah. They were all on board. They were all on board the Andrew Cuomo, whatever you want to call it, joyride. There's that name Joy again. Joy. But they were all along, and then as soon as Andrew Cuomo's going down, and then they're like, oh no, Chris, he's connected to this. Oh, they're on to him. They're all getting out of that vehicle, right? That joyride is over. Yep. And they're all scampering. They're all like, well, let's have an unfiltered talk now about this, like, because we are going to cover this news. This is significant. This is a scandal, even though he's been a friend of ours. And oh yeah, okay, you're really going to tell the truth now.
Yeah.
Save yourself.
The almighty CNN.
I think they're all fighting for who's going to get his slot.
Right.
I mean, maybe it should be the Tubin hour. Chris Cuomo's time slot. Give it to Jeffrey Tubin.
Unfiltered.
Undressed, unfiltered.
Yeah, it'd be perfect.
Oh my God.
Well, they got to do something because those ratings on that whole 3-hour block are atrocious.
Honestly,
right?
I mean, when it's not even getting to like a million viewers in an evening or something. I mean, it's really pathetic.
And it goes to make you wonder, right? How could Joe Biden have gotten, I don't know, 80 million votes if that station and MSNBC can't garner up more viewers than Tucker or Hannity?
And
How is it possible?
All the network stations too, right?
Yeah.
All of them collectively never even get close, right, to Fox.
It's amazing.
I might be. I mean, I don't know how wrong I am. Like prime time, I don't think you ever get even close. Like Fox just is completely like smothering everyone else.
And it's amazing to think you got how many 100 million people in our country and you can't get 1 million viewers.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Well, especially this time of year, it's about Lifetime Channel, folks.
Yep.
Want to talk about one of these? I'll tell you. Small town craft store needs help. The woman comes back. Anyway, I mean, these are just heart-wrenching stories. They always come out great, though. So, Joe, Jill, try Lifetime. I'm telling you, stay out from the public spotlight. Don't worry about Putin. Okay? China, Taiwan, let it go, Joe.
To be fair, he already is letting it go. So going home to watch Lifetime movies isn't going to change that, I don't think.
Okay, well, then just for his own entertainment, a reason to have another Sunday.
Joe's had a tough go at many issues recently, just taking anything seriously or diving headfirst into any major national or foreign issue.
Right.
He just doesn't. It's not.
No doubt.
It's not his game.
It's not his game. No. I'll tell you what, though, this was pretty cool news. Carol Markowitz, right? And I don't read her. I don't know really anything about her, but she's got children. New York City, I believe she lived in, leaving New York for Florida. So I want to play a few clips of this because Brian Kilmeade interviewed her. And so many parts to this just felt really good to me. Like, not the stuff that the kids are struggling, but the fact that she's doing something about this. And I just have to believe when you get people like her, definitely more liberal minded, right? Works for the New York Post, right? And clearly lived in New York City and continued, like, let this stuff go on for herself and her family for some time, right? It's 2-3 years worth of masks and so forth and all that. And she saw how badly, though, this was affecting her family. And of all the places, she's going to go to Florida?
Oh. Who would go there?
Oh, my God. It's a cesspool of freedom and liberty and palm trees.
COVID numbers are really high.
They don't have good COVID numbers. Yeah. I mean, how could you go somewhere where COVID is not everything, right? Where it's not the central theme. I mean, it's just awful. I'm going to play a little bit of this, and I'll stop and go here a little bit because I think there's some really great comments in this. So here, Carol Markowitz with Brian Kilmeade.
Listen to this. New York Post columnist, Fox News contributor, great friend of the show, Carol Markowitz, a lifetime New Yorker, is trading in the Big Apple for the Sunshine State. In a Fox News op-ed, Carol opens up about her decision to move her family, writing, quote, "I was a New York supremacist. And so it's with some sadness and a lot of anger that I feel our family now needs to leave the city we've loved for so long. We're going to Florida, a state that's come to regard the beacon of freedom in this country." Carol joins us now. Carol, there's many reasons, but it's really about your kids.
Yeah, look, there's so many things going wrong in New York City right now, but the key thing for me is that we have put kids last throughout the pandemic, and we continue to do that today. It's a city that really treats kids like an afterthought, and I have to get my kids out of that. We can't stay.
You're already seeing this. You have 3 kids in school, and you're seeing them in masks every day. You thought this thing was going to end. It doesn't. They don't seem to care. European cities, countries, they don't really have this issue. They know kids in masks is stupid. So now you're seeing a delay in your kids' development.
Yeah, so my 6-year-old has been in masks, his entire schooling career so far. He's in 1st grade. He's not reading yet. I wrote about him this week for the Post. My other 2 kids were reading quite early. They're very voracious readers, and I see a change, and I think it's because, I really do see that it's because of the masking. He's a shy kid. He doesn't repeat himself. He doesn't, enunciate very well. He doesn't understand what his teacher is saying. It's a giant issue, and the fact that we ignore that this is going to be a problem is the problem to me. It's like the pretense that in a year we're not going to accept that these masks caused actual problems for these kids is ridiculous.
So there's a lot right there, right? But the one comment she made that the kids are kind of an afterthought, that really struck me.
It's funny. I wrote 2 notes down, and that's right what she said at the end there too. Like ignoring the problem that it's not just about like masking your kid, right? It's the issue with their behavior. Maybe it's an issue with how they develop. It's an issue with how they communicate, right? I mean, there's so many things there that for those out there that just say, yeah, just wear a mask. I'll tell you, me personally, as an adult, trying to communicate with somebody in a mask. Obviously, we know where we stand at this firm. We don't wear masks really, but. It's near impossible to communicate, especially if there's any noise anywhere. Right. So you're like, what? Yeah. What did you? What?
Yeah.
And it's a terrible conversation. Both of you look like idiots.
Right.
Right.
And my wife teaches, so she's gone through this now. Being here in New York for a long time, she's gone through this where it's really difficult for the kids to understand her. It's really difficult because, well, let's face it, it's already hard enough. It's already hard enough for you and I to just communicate effectively with others, with other adults, with even very, very bright adults like engineers and doctors. It's very hard to communicate already.
Right.
You've got to do it and work at it, right? And you've got to listen, and you've got to have this nice sort of dynamic of I heard you, I understood you. I'm going to repeat what you said. I'm going to solve some issues and problems with you. It's already hard. So now do this with kids, right? So now you're doing this with 4, 5, 6-year-olds and all the way up through high school. It's hard already. Now put masks on kids, put masks on shy kids, put masks on kids and masks on yourself where they can't see your facial expressions, right? Yep. There's a lot said when words are not said. Yep. I mean, you can see the facial expressions, maybe eyes and, like looks tell a lot. If you take that away, now it's really impossible. Then put some plexiglass in front of you too.
Yeah, you're in the penalty box.
I mean, it's already hard. So, to her credit, she's finally said, this is like truly affecting my child's life. A 1st grader with 2 other siblings that were voracious readers, as she said. And this 1st grader cannot read yet. He's having issues. And these issues early on are very, very difficult to then get away, take away or improve.
And I will say, I'm not a parent yet, so you can speak to this. I really can't. To me, though, it's funny that this is like the final step for folks with New York City, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how about the crime rate is terrible? How about the city is just crumbling and businesses are going out of business left and right. And who wants to live there and who wants to move there? It's not like they're gaining millions of people a year or even thousands of people a year, right? So that's number one. Right. Number 2, not to mention then the COVID restrictions, forget the kids in school with the mask, is the worst in the country, right? You can't even go to a restaurant without being vaccinated. To me, it's like, God, I would have said this a year ago. Like, get the hell out of there. Why do you want to stay there?
I know. And I think especially, think about it. Any professions where you don't literally have to report to a building, you don't have to go to an office. If she can write and appear on Zooms and actually talk to her staff and do her, columns or whatever, why would you stay in New York then? If you don't have to report anywhere, you could work from home. So to her credit, getting out, and thousands of people are leaving New York every month to go down to Florida and other places like, the freedom sanctuaries like Texas, parts of Texas anyway, right? Some of them are becoming little liberal sanctuaries, right?
Yep.
Just try to avoid them, folks. I mean, that's what we're all doing. We're all like running away from wherever there's the most oppression. And, New York is definitely still leading the list. Maybe California, then New York, as it always seems to be.
And what's sad is I think if Mr. Polenkars and Gail Bernstein and a few of the others have their way, that will be Buffalo too.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're going for, right? I think you have these areas like New York City, and I know New York City, it's ridiculous to say they're a guinea pig because they're such a huge city, but New York City, Buffalo with these mask mandates and these, I'm waiting for it. We're almost 3 weeks into Cuomo's little, Cuomo. I got Cuomo in my mind now. To Polenkars's little 3 weeks to slow the spread with masking.
Right.
The numbers aren't going down. So next Tuesday, is he going to come out and say, didn't work, got to vaccinate everybody? Because you think people are leaving now? Wait till that happens.
Yeah, it's never going to end. If it's up to them, like I said, I think they just cannot get off of that theme. They just cannot do it. It's like they're on crack. They're on COVID. These people are COVID addicts.
That's one of the best. I'm going to cut that up in a video. That's perfect.
They're COVID addicts.
Yeah,
they cannot.
That's great.
Like most of what he reports, most of his messages out to the public that he serves is about COVID. It's about COVID numbers. It's about people with COVID. It's about testing. It's about vaccinations. I mean, when you're an executive of a county, shouldn't it be about the 3 to 5 year plan to actually keep people here and bring people here and support business? Because businesses have the citizens who you represent, right? In those businesses, they're making a living, right? The Erie County has school districts. Shouldn't you be looking out for the school districts and trying to figure out how to make those the best schools where the kids get really smart when they leave? No, instead, it's all about COVID. It's about oppression. It's about control. It's about power. And it's about money. And I'd love to, at some point, if there was just this lens, this truth lens that could go over all of this, I'd love to see, just like the Bursteins of the world, how much money these people who are the oppressors have made because of COVID.
And the vaccination companies, too.
Right.
Now, one thing, too, I want to say that with this virus and how it's gone, the Omicron came out now, and then it was, in the beginning, it was, oh, my God, what are we going to do? It's going to kill everybody, right?
Yeah.
That's how they talk, right? And then it came out, oh, no, it's actually pretty mild. Imagine if we did that, especially on your side with financial planning. Oh my God, that stock's going to drop tomorrow. It's going to be, you're going to be poor. You're going to be living on the street.
Right.
And then a day later, oh yeah, not too bad. We're okay. Yeah, I think it's going to stay right around where the stock price was yesterday.
Right.
You would go out of business because people would tell you,
right,
you're fired. You just lost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, or you just. I mean, I look at it in our businesses where if we did that stuff, we would either lose clients or the government would shut us down because we're giving false information out.
Right.
And they do it every day.
We're supposed to be the steadying force in their lives.
The fiduciary, right? They have a fiduciary responsibility to their constituents, right?
No, they're the sky is falling every day.
Right.
Every day the sky is falling, and I'm the only one who can save you. Yes, they should be the steadying force, folks. They should be the ones who get up in front of the camera and say, listen, there's a lot going on. There's always a lot of stuff going on. But we're here to lead, and we're going to get us out of this. But we're going to do it with wisdom and with leadership. We're not going to do it with fear. We're not going to strike more fear in you and bring more anxiety and actually mandate, and then you're losing your jobs. And just like Carol Markowitz, you're going to leave New York. I mean, that's just not the way good leaders do it. But
and
they're not good leaders.
And last thing I'll say is about these leaders like Polenkars. Yesterday, I sent this video to all you guys of Gail Bernstein talking about masks work and don't listen to the narrative that masks don't work and the vaccine works. Since the mask mandate went into effect in Erie County, our COVID numbers are lower than surrounding counties, they say together. However, they fail to tell you, I should say, in that same message that 3 of the last 7 days have been the highest COVID numbers since the very beginning of COVID. Right? So, oh, great, you're doing well with surrounding counties. It doesn't matter. Your numbers suck.
I know, your numbers suck.
Right?
So your strategy has sucked.
Yeah.
Why do you turn to the areas like Florida, counties like Florida, where things are not bad, folks?
Right.
Things are not bad. People are just living. and they're surviving, and they're thriving.
And guess what? If Florida's numbers go back up and New York's go back down, and Florida's go back down and New York's go back up, what are we learning? We're never getting rid of it. So just deal with it.
No, we're going to deal with it.
Get healthy. Get your body healthy. Do whatever you can to be safe and live with it.
You got it. Yeah. So we're between Thanksgiving and Christmas, folks. I'm just thinking of small businesses for some reason. Support your small businesses out there, folks. I mean, it's so easy to get on your phone and order stuff and it shows up at your door a couple days later. But, these small business owners, they really are the courageous ones, the ones that take on a lot of risk. Support small businesses this season, folks. Go buy all your stuff if you can, or at least some of your stuff from the small businesses. Get out there and do that. And, this has been fun. Yeah. Little rapid fire today. We have
to do this quarterly because sometimes we just got to get it out there.
I know. It's sort of a cleansing period for us. It's sort of like a flush. If any of you have had to get those colonoscopies, this is what this was today. For us, it was cleanse out the channels. Okay, we feel cleansed. We're going to take deep breaths without masks on. We're getting a lot of oxygen doing this, and we're exhaling, which is good. That's what you're supposed to do. Get that out, right?
And it's hard when we interview folks. We have to let them flush it out, and then we need our time to get it out there because we can't overtake the interview. So we got to let them go, and then.
What better thing to flush out, by the way? Vaccine mandates. Jussie Smollett, Chris Cuomo, Joy Reid. I mean, flush them out. Yeah. Flush them out of your system, folks. All right, I guess that's going to do it for us. Each and every week, folks, we love doing this. We're going to be back. We're going to have really good guests coming up to end this year and into next year. We've had so many great guests. Mike, you've been tracking these people down kind of like a dog on a bone. He just never says no until they say, leave me the hell alone. He just doesn't. And we end up with getting great guests. I'm Mike Hayflick, Mike Speraza. This is TFG Truth. Join us again next week, folks, and hopefully you're surviving these holidays. Make it fun. Don't make it stressful, all right? It's supposed to be fun. Spend time with friends and family. Have some fun.
Cancel Christmas. Can't have it.
Yeah, like screw all those people that are trying to put a big, huge wet blanket on our campfire, all right? Screw all of them. Have some fun. And, just wake up and help people, all right? That's it. All right, so this is TFG Truth. We'll see you next week.